Hey everyone, Dan and Leslie back for another video, this time something a little bit different.
Today we are talking all about Adventures by Disney, and if you have ever been curious about this product, then tune in because it is absolutely incredible.
So we haven't talked about it much on this channel. We've talked about it in the podcast. You can check out some of those episodes over on Addicted to the Mouse on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, but not on this channel because we've never actually done Adventures by Disney until now.
Yeah.
This is our first year. We have been looking forward to this for years and years and years. Obviously, we book vacations. We specialize in Disney with those vacations over at Fantastical Vacations, but we've never done Adventures by Disney. So we're gonna do a little bit of a series here. Today, we're just diving into what it is. We're gonna talk about some prices and where they go and the types of vacations that you can do Adventures by Disney, which honestly, a lot of people don't even know Adventures by Disney exists even.
Yeah.
But we are going to do an unboxing video in the months coming up, well, weeks coming up. We actually go on our first Adventures by Disney here in less than 3 months.
I am so excited. Our upcoming Adventures by Disney trip, our first Adventures by Disney trip, is going to be the Italy adventure. You can do Italy in a couple of different adventures, a couple of different ways. It can include like a bigger part of Europe plus Italy. It can include Italy and the Amalfi Coast, Italy and Switzerland. Like there's lots of different ways you can do Italy. We are focusing just on Italy.
This is a 7-night adventure. All 4 of us are going and we cannot wait. It is in July, so this summer, less than 3 months away. We're gonna take you along with us for the entire adventure. I feel like this is one of the more popular Adventures by Disney starting out. And so we're gonna cover that a little bit today, but more in depth when we do our unboxing video, which we'll talk about. So, shall we get into what is Adventures by Disney?
First off, it is a small group adventure. So most of the time it's around 40 people. That can vary a little bit, but it's typically like around 30 to 40 people is how many people are going to be on your adventure. And it's gonna be families for the most part. Now there are some adventures that are adult exclusive, so that could be one if you're interested in doing one where there's no kids.
Next up, it's going to be a VIP tour experience, except worldwide. And so Disney calls this like the backstage pass to the world. And from everything we've heard from the clients that we've sent on Adventures by Disney, it is exactly that. You get backstage passes to things, you get insights into different areas of the world, like think big tourist destinations, in seeing those in ways that normal visitors, and when I say normal, like just like us, if we were to go on our own, would not get to experience.
Yes, which is really kind of special. I mean, you're like skipping the line in a lot of instances and getting like after hours tours, special private events, that kind of thing. Okay, the next big thing is hassle-free travel. So it is, once you are on the adventure, it's pretty much all inclusive. It includes most of your meals. There are some times where you can adventure on your own and possibly grab a bite to eat in the local town, wherever you're at. But everything else is included. So all of the entrances into any site that you go to, any museum, any, for instance, we're going to the Vatican and the Sistine Chapel and the Colosseum, like all of that is already included in the cost of our tickets or of our adventure, and we don't have to do anything extra to get that. It also includes, like, they handle all of your luggage, they handle picking you up and dropping you off at the airport or train station. And so it's really kind of hassle-free from the beginning of your adventure till the end.
Now you do have to get yourself there, so it does not include like airfare getting to the start or airfare from the end of the adventure, but it does include any transportation in between. Mm-hmm. So if there are transfers, so like for us, we have like 3 different kind of locations that we're staying at. So like the trains or motor coaches in between those locations is included in the cost. The next thing that makes this a little bit different than other small group tours, there are all kinds of small group tours out there worldwide, is that this includes the Disney difference. And I'm gonna put that in kind of air quotes. This is the Disney difference, and this is Disney words, but from everything we've heard, it is kind of a step up. Now, of course, we're gonna talk about prices towards the end of this video. Disney is a premium product, regardless of what you're doing. Disney Cruise Line, Disney Parks, definitely a premium product. And this is the premium of the premium product. So you're definitely paying for that Disney difference, which is why it's taken us so long to be able to afford to go on one of these things. But yeah, you are getting storytelling, you're getting immersed in local culture. You have a minimum of 2 tour guides with you. So you have like a Disney trained tour guide that is kind of leading the entire group, and you're gonna have someone, at least one, that is an expert on the local culture and speaks the language and can like tell you what is going on, why people are doing things wherever you're at in and amongst like the towns and cities throughout the world. And then they can kind of give you that history and that background of what is going on, just so that you can immerse yourself in that culture.
You might even have like additional guides that come and join you in certain cities or towns that are from that city or town, so they're even more of an expert from that perspective. So it's really cool. They also have adult and junior adventures. So if you are going on a family adventure, then you're gonna have moments where the adults get to go do something that is adult-esque, and then the kids get to do something different. So they'll have, for instance, on our adventure, one of the things I believe is like we have a dinner or a wine tasting type event while the kids are doing a movie night and an Italian soda tasting. So it's something that's special for them and also special for us. So it's really cool.
That is a good segue into our next category, which is the types of adventures that you can do. So you mentioned adult and junior activities. They have adult-only adventures. So, for instance, this Italy trip we're going on, 7-night trip, there's a lot of different itinerary start dates throughout the summer. Some of them are adult only. We're bringing our kids, so we have to go on the family one, right? But some of them, if you don't want to be around other kids and you just want to be in a small group of only adults, they have those as well. So make sure whenever you're looking into this, first reach out to Fantastical Vacations. We would love to help you do this, but make sure that you are getting the type of adventure that you want. This is also a benefit to Disney, Adventures by Disney, as opposed to some of the other maybe small groups out there that tend to gravitate away from families, away from smaller kids. So if you do want to take your smaller kids, you can if you're on a family adventure.
Yeah, definitely note the age requirement though, because every adventure does have a minimum age requirement. So look at that before you decide on where you want to go.
Other types of adventures, you have land-based adventures. So that's what we are going on with Italy, but they are all across the world. But you are doing tours through tourist destinations and cities and towns and sites and all this stuff on land, as opposed to small ship-based destinations. So think river cruises along the Seine or the Rhine in Europe. Disney partners, Adventures by Disney partners with AMA Waterways for those types of river cruises. They also have like Galapagos Island expeditions and so different types of small ship adventures.
And then you have the private jet adventure that takes you all over the world in one swoop. So it's like 27 days or something like that, where it's this big giant adventure. You get to visit every single Disney park across the world and many other just iconic stops along the way. Absolutely incredible.
That's goals right there.
Yeah.
And then the last type of adventure are the escapes. So whereas the typical Adventure by Disney is going to be a week long, maybe a little bit longer than a week. Some of the longer ones might be 12 days. If you're going to like China, Japan, like they're gonna be a little bit longer. Ours is 7 nights. And the jet tour is over, this is like 3 weeks. Yeah. But the escapes are gonna be more like an add-on to a package. So maybe you're doing like a Disney cruise and you want like a 3-night. So they're like 2 to 4 nights, but they're about 3 nights in length. And so you can do like Paris or maybe Southern California, Disneyland, that kind of thing that you're gonna tack on to a trip as part of like a longer vacation. But maybe you don't wanna do an entire Adventures by Disney. Maybe you wanna dip your toe in the water. And of course, the prices on those are a little bit less expensive.
So let's talk destinations. Can I tell you that 95% of these are on my bucket list?
Oh no. Slow your roll, lady. Let's get through this one. Let's pay for this one, and then we'll move forward.
All right. Before we dive into all of my bucket list trips, if you are looking to plan your next magical vacation, please reach out to us over at Fantastical Vacations. We plan Disney destinations, including Adventures by Disney, cruise lines, all-inclusives, and Universal. So destinations. So the first of which is going to be Africa, and Egypt is at the top of my bucket list. I mean, I am dying to get to Egypt. That would be such an amazing trip, and just looking and oohing and awing over this itinerary is incredible.
Also in Africa, you have Morocco, and then South Africa, which all look pretty fantastic. Moving on over to a different continent, you have North America. Yes, there are a lot of Adventures by Disney in North America itself. The one that I have my eye on is the Disneyland and Southern California Adventure by Disney. So you can do this in one of two ways. You can do this as a long, I think it's 6 nights, like a full Adventure by Disney, or there's an escape. So maybe you are doing a Disney cruise and you're going out of San Diego. Maybe you want to tack this on, or maybe you're doing a Disneyland vacation, you want to tack this on. But this includes behind the scenes at the Chinese Theater in LA, behind the scenes at Walt Disney Imagineering Tour. You get all kinds of special access in Disneyland in Anaheim and Disney California Adventure. So you get to like tour Walt's apartment, do VIP tours, do like special fireworks shows, that kind of thing. So this one looks really, really cool.
So there are other ones to include like Arizona and Utah and Wyoming. You can go to Alaska. They typically do have like New England ones as well. There's just all over the United States that you can kind of hit up. Then there is the Asia Pacific area. So that's going to include your Japan, China, Australia, the New Zealand area, and then the Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia, which also just looks absolutely amazing.
Then you have Central and South America. So you're looking at things like an escape in the Amazon. You're looking at Colombia, Costa Rica. I mentioned the Galapagos Islands Expedition Cruise, so that would be considered Central and South America. Also Peru, you have an Adventure by Disney there.
And then finally you have Europe. So you've got the Adriatic Expedition Cruise, you've got a Barcelona escape, you've got Paris, you've got England, you've got Switzerland, Ireland, Iceland. I mean, pretty much anywhere you want to go.
There's honestly too many to name. There are so many, and then like different kind of configurations. So like you can do British Isles, or you can do England and France, or you can do like Italy, or Italy and Amalfi Coast. There's just all these different configurations that you can do. So you can see basically whatever, Greece for sure, Ireland, all of these things, and then you get the river cruises on top of that. So you can do Alma Waterways and do the Seine or the Rhine. You can do Oktoberfest. You can do the Christmas markets. You can do all kinds of things in and around Europe. You said finally Europe, but there is one more thing that you mentioned earlier, that private jet adventure. We're going to talk about prices on that here in a minute, but can you imagine going to 6 continents, going to the Taj Mahal, going to all 12 theme parks across the world? Like it's unbelievable.
I mean, bucket list for sure.
Okay, so let's talk about the cost on some of these trips. So again, we mentioned there are adult-only expeditions, there are adult-only adventures, and there are family adventures. If you have a child that meets that minimum age, there is a child rate depending on what the age is on the adventure. Typically, if they are below 12 and it's a family trip, there will be a child rate on that. But all of these costs are the starting prices for these trips for an adult. And another thing to note is for Adventures by Disney, they figure double occupancy on rooms. So if you are a single traveler, your cost is going to be a lot more expensive than these starting rates, because this is per adult based off of double occupancy.
Yeah, they do charge an upcharge for solo travelers because you are taking a space of a double occupancy room, and so there is a little upcharge there. It isn't quite the cost of 2 adults going though. These are per person rates as of right now here in 2024. So escapes typically start, like Paris for a 3-day escape is about $2,700. London is $3,200. Sydney is going to be $3,700, and Rome is going to be right at $4,000.
And you're looking at the land adventures, and so adult rates are going to be starting at on the cheaper end. You're looking at Central and South America, so like Costa Rica or the Disneyland and Southern California Adventure by Disney. Those are going to start around $4,600, like $4,649 per adult. Alaska is just over $6,000. Wyoming $6,249. Italy $7,300. Australia $8,500. Egypt $9,000. China $11,000. And Japan is pretty much the most expensive at $11,599 per adult.
Man, I'd love to go. All right, then you have their small ship adventures. So if you're looking at those river cruises, the Danube is like $5,200, the Rhine is $5,400, the Seine River is right at like about $6,100, and your Galapagos Islands Expedition Cruise is $9,000 per person, which who would not love to go look at some penguins?
And finally, you've got your private jet adventure, which Starting prices for this year for 24 days, 6 countries, 12 Disney theme parks, the Taj Mahal, the Pyramids of Giza, the Eiffel Tower, taking direct flights to all these places on a VIP luxury 757 airplane starts at $114,995 per person. Goals, yes.
Yes. Someday, I tell Dan every time I call Adventures by Disney that someday I'm going to be able to press that I'm wanting that.
Now, I do want to say they do have discounts on all of these. We did not pay $72.99 per adult for our adventure. You just have to find the starting price, and then depending on when you book it, they might have discounts. This year, there's like a $500 discount for some bookings, and then if you have been on an adventure by Disney in the past, you can book a bounce back. They don't call it a bounce back, do they?
You can book a return adventure.
It's the Walt Disney bounce back equivalent, the Disney World bounce back equivalent. So just booking another one within so many days of you returning off of an ABD, and you get a discount there. So you can find discounts on these things. Even the private jet adventure has discounts associated with it if you're doing a repeat private jet adventure, which, I mean, if 1 is a goal, 2 is definitely, like, that's amazing right there.
For real. Yeah, so just reach out to your favorite Fantastical Vacations advisor, and they can definitely help you navigate through what adventure would work for you, and the pricing and all of the details. So if you're liking these videos, please hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss the next one.
And we will see you on the next video.